I love the scent very dearly. I resonate with it. Just within all these categories I'm about to go over, it's just hits the nail on the head so hard for me. It really just strikes the heartstrings, if you will. Hey everybody, my name is Jenny and welcome to Veritable Volatility. So I love the concept of having a signature scent. The idea of having someone be reminded of you just by smelling one perfume is amazing to me. I love to be like that. My parents are like this. My mom has worn Gucci Bloom for years now. She wears it to work. My dad has used the same aftershave for like 10 years or so. And whenever I smell those things, I get reminded of my parents. I like to be like this too. However, girl, I'm a Gemini. I would get bored of that so fast. So what I like to do instead is seasonal signature scents. Here's all my signature scents for the seasons. And lo and behold, my signature for winter, as it is right now, is Velvet by Commodity. And if I were to have a signature scent for every time of year, it would be this one. And in a second, you'll see exactly why. So the way I structure my videos is first I'll do, a generalized review, the scent, the longevity / sillage, the mood, and the art / symbolism of the perfume. And then after that, I do this thing called my Realgar stars rating. And if you don't know, this kind of determines how Arsenic Mayhem a fragrance is. Arsenic Mayhem is my little persona. Basically, like, I wouldn't say my brand because it's not a brand, but like, just me. How me is it? How Arsenic Mayhem is it?
Arsenic Mayhem releases music, so you should go listen to it. I'd be like limited shit, but you know how to get it if you want. I should have to say it.
If you want a better understanding of what Realgar stars is, you can watch my intro video to this channel, and I explain it more in depth. But anyways, Realgar stars consists of the categories gender, notes, name, the bottle, and the lore or the story or the marketing, what the perfume is like based on. So as I just said, I'm gonna start with the generalized review, the first category of which is the scent. So first of all, I'm gonna say that the notes listed for Velvet between Fragrantica, the Commodity website, and the little card I got like in the box with this are inconsistent. They're not exactly the same, but overall it's kind of the same thing. I'm gonna be talking about like all the notes I have seen Velvet as being described as. Notes off the official Commodity website are coconut water on the top. In the middle, it's roasted almonds and rose petals, and finally, in the base, it's vanilla, amber, and smoky musk. However, on Fragrantica, on the top, it's cloves, almond, and coconut nectar. In the middle, it's rose petals, vanilla flower, and heliotrope. And in the base, it's white woods, black amber, and birch. I sprayed this on my skin about like a few minutes ago. So what I get on my skin the most with the scent is the cloves. If you don't know what they smell like, cloves smell sweet and oriental, they smell spicy. Well, on Fragrantica it says there's cloves in this scent, but on the website itself there's no mention of the spice at all. But I do get cloves very strongly. And the wood and the roasted almonds I get are very smoky. It's like a burning or ashy wood as opposed to like a fresh, earthy wood to me. Very smoky. I'm gonna smell it straight from the bottle. Yeah, a lot of sweetness and a lot of rose. More of a dried rose petal than a fresh, like, fragrant rose you'd like smell from a bouquet. It smells just like dried rose petals. I used to make rose tea all the time and it smells just like that. And I know this is synaptical, but it reminds me of milk because I would put milk in it. That's not an association everybody would get, but to me it smells creamy. I do get the coconut water in the top. That's one of the notes that's listed both on Fragrantica and the Commodity website. Personally, I don't get too much almond smell with almond. I think of, like marzipan, praline, just like that cherryish almond smell. I don't really get much of that. If anything, what the almonds gives is like that roasty smell because it is roasted almonds. That's what they describe it as. The smoky musk / black amber at the base is very harsh. I can see how that could be off-putting, but I love it. It just gives sort of like an edge, like a sort of level of disturbance to me. The dry down is definitely more masculine, I would say, but it's still very sweet with that vanilla in it. You can smell that vanilla and the sweetness. I love it. And this fragrance is not linear at all. It for sure changes. Now I can tell sort of like that coconut is kind of fading and now it's just warm and ambery. Overall, I would describe this as a very sweet, warm fragrance with a bit of a deep floral smoky edge. Next category within the generalized review section is the longevity / sillage. This is a quick one, easy, 6 hours I would say. I sprayed it on my skin, slept, and I couldn't smell it anymore in the morning. Moderate, arm's length sillage, kind of just average for the price I paid. $130 for that. I think this is 100 ml. Yeah, $130. It's kind of just average. Nothing beast mode or anything. I'm not mad at it. All right, so the next category in the generalized reviews is the mood. To keep it a buck with y'all, it's more like 4 hours of longevity. Sorry. Alright, so a lot of people like to describe Velvet as like this Valentine's Day scent, but in my opinion, if you're looking for a smell that's, you know, lighthearted and happy and loving, this is not it. Velvet is very heavy and deep from, you know, that smokiness, that deep, rich sweetness, and the amber and the woods and all that. Very heavy. It's also very complex. Mysterious and oriental, again, because of the smoke and the spices, things like cloves and all that. It's perfect for winter in my humble opinion. Sidetrack, personally in the fall, I want my scents to remind me of the holidays and be really decadent and gourmand and all that. So I wear things like, you know, By the Fireplace. That's my fall winter scent. By the Fireplace / the Dossier version. You know, just gourmand vanilla scents. I love it. It prepares you for the fatness of Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween and all that. But after Christmas, like in January and February, I want something a little bit sad and wintry. Not sad, but like, you know, less, you know, caloric smelling, you know. So a little bit of floral edge is actually appreciated in my opinion, because if you didn't know, winter starts on like December 24th. It like nearly doesn't even include Christmas at all. A little bit of florals kind of prepares you for spring, gets you out of the mindset of, you know, missing Christmas, like, because January is so sad. I need something to get me hopeful for like the warmer weather. Anyways, Velvet is deep and thick, like the texture of molasses, but it also has this like sharpness and edge to it from the flowers, and also from like that smoky harshness in the base. Kind of like cuts through everything. And the final category in my generalized review section is the art / symbolism. As artistic pieces, every fragrance's artistic significance is in the eye of the beholder. So whatever I say, you don't have to agree with. I don't know why this is like controversial. Like, this is like literally, who cares? I'm just like saying what I think this represents. I need to shut up. Okay, anyways, so if I were to aestheticize, so to speak, this fragrance, I would describe her as so. Velvet is deeply sensitive and loving. She's, it's like obsession. The amber gives, you know, a warmth to her personality, but she's also cold and unloving and mysterious due to the smokiness and muskiness. She's got issues with anger, y'all. She gets dark and depressive. She might have BPD, but at the same time, she's got this smooth, comforting presence. Her voice is calming and velvety. She's good with words. Velvet could also be a guy though too. I get this like sensitive dude who likes to romanticize things. I get this image of like a dude holding like, you know, a rose or a flower or one of those, what do you call it, boutonniere things for prom. He plays piano. He's like artistic and musical. See, the Valentine's gimmick works for the guy because usually you don't expect guys to be like that. It gives some contrast in my brain, mind you, again. Now we are going to be moving on to the Realgar stars section of this video. If you don't give a freak about that, or Arsenic Mayhem, or any of my persona crap, then you can leave. I don't want you here anyway. For gender, I gave this a perfect 1. Each, you know, category gets 1 point, and there's 5 points altogether. It's like stars. Blah, blah. For reference, a purely feminine scent would get a 0.5 for me, and this is perfect. It's unisex, leaning ever so slightly feminine. That's like Arsenic's ideal gender in a perfume. To explain sort of how I interpret gender in perfumes, I'll say it with this. As I said in my last video, and I'll keep saying, a more feminine fragrance will tend to be any of the following: sweet and gourmand, floral, fruity, or powdery, because it reminds you of makeup. Now for masculine scents, these will be any of the following: woody, leathery, tobacco, or earthy. In this one, I feel like there's a lot of woodiness in the base. There's a lot of unisex within it. The only like feminine thing in this, according to my rules, is the rose, because it's a floral. But the vanilla is not that strong, and a rose is like a second strongest to me. And then the woods. First is the cloves. Now for everybody's favorite, the notes category of Realgar stars. I'm gonna be diving deep into the notes and how they are symbols for who Arsenic is as a person and what she represents in her message to the world and all that. Just her vibes. The scent is warm, and the rose is a lot like rose tea. Arsenic is all about warmth. She's all about fire, hotness. And there's also like that milk association I have. I know that's just me, but milk relates to motherhood and femininity, offers some balance to her like masculine side. Lactones and milk, creaminess are something I really love in perfume. Divine feminine energy. Roses also relate to beauty, as we all know. It's a sweet, really overbearing beauty because it's like a sweet, it's not a fresh rose, it's like a dried rose, like I said. Sort of like, it gives this vibe of like deathly or sickly beauty, and also they represent guardedness because of the thorns. And red, of course, who could forget that. Milk, I forgot to say, also represents comfort. I wrote down also the ability to self-comfort. Next, the smokiness adds sort of like this mystery and unrest that ties together air and fire, like two elements that she resonates with. Cloves also represent fire and the root chakra and the color red as well. Almonds relate to poison because they have cyanide. Clove comes from the word clavus, which means nail in Latin. So that reminds me of heart wrench. I don't know, I think this is such a unique, I don't want to say weird, but it's definitely odd combination of notes. It's like, it's not mainstream. In that way, it almost smells like chemical. Work with me. It's your brain is like, should I be breathing this? It's not in a disgusting way at all. It just adds like this level of like disturbance, like fear. And I think that's really beautiful. One more thing, coconut I associate with craziness, like feminine hysteria. So there's that in the perfume as well. The next category is the name. The way that Commodity, the brand, works is they make fragrances based on commodities themselves. So they have a scent called Milk. I have that right here. Well, this is the plus version. Yeah, this gimmick of theirs is that there's a plus version, a regular version, and a minus version of all of their scents. I have the regular Velvet. As you can see, there's no plus or minus sign there. Plus basically has a lot of projection, and minus has the least amount of projection, and middle is in the middle. But anyways, about Velvet is, you know, a very luxurious fabric. It's smooth, it's very thick, and makes you feel hot. It can be suffocating. It also makes you think of red velvet cake and cake batter, which is harmonious and silky and ribbony. The name is straightforward. It's not trying too hard, like with French and stuff. Like, I hate when perfumes are French for no reason. Like, you're not even like from France. So I like this brand a lot. I think they're unique. I forgot to say what the notes got. The notes got a 1, perfect. And the name gets a 1 because it's simple, like I said, straight to the point. It's based on velvet, so they call it Velvet. Nothing wrong with that at all. Next up is the bottle. So like I said, simple. Nice font, reminds me of Times New Roman. I like their plus and minus thing. Like, I don't know if you can see right here, this is Milk Plus, it has the plus sign. And I also have gold, minus. It's got the minus sign. Reminds me of chemistry, like charged ions. And if you don't know, I'm actually a freaking nerd. Of course I like that. So the bottle gets a 1. I like it a lot. The way that bottles work in Realgar Stars is a simple, inoffensive bottle is perfectly fine with me. The only thing that will cause me to dog points is if it's ugly in any sort of way. But I do love gaudiness. I love extra. That may cause me to give it an extra point, like a 1.1 instead of just a straight up 1. It just really goes above and beyond, and it really hits me hard and resonates with me. One example of that would be Sahara by Lattafa. I love dragons and I love red orbs. God, I bought it because of the bottle. That one would get a 1.1. But if it's gaudy in the wrong way, gaudy can easily turn ugly if it's like something I don't like, because, well, gaudy means expressive. So if it's expressing something that I don't like and I find it ugly, that is a slippery slope. An example of that would be Lattafa's Her Confession. Lattafa has a lot of crazy bottles. This is why I'm, talking about Lattafa with this. I just find it ugly, and that's personal, so that bottle would get a lower score. Also, the hair looks Asian. It looks literally Chinese. I'm Vietnamese. Why did I say that? Last but certainly not least is the lore category of Realgar Stars. What is Velvet sort of based on? What do people interpret it as? What is it marketed as? So, Commodity, the brand, describes Velvet in a very dark and sensual way. It's not quintessential of any emotion or anything like stereotypical like a lot of perfume brands do. Like, a lot of scents will try to be like, this is intoxicating and will get your man all riled up. Like, they don't do any of that like marketing stuff. They don't try to be like too sexy with it. It's based on velvet. That's it. However, the people who try to characterize or, influence the scent with, like on TikTok and shit like that, say like, this is perfect for Valentine's Day. It's just so sensual. And I mean, well, like Commodity describes the velvet fabric itself as a sensual fabric, but I think the textual experience of velvet is something unique, and you remember it by the unique sensation it gives you. But I digress. it gets sexualized and romanticized in that way, and I think that's dumb. It's like done to death. So many other fragrances are described as like perfect for Valentine's Day and like date night and shit like that. And I get why people do that. I'm just not that kind of person. That makes the marketing to me a little bit, in the lore, I guess, frivolous and flippant, when I think the scent itself is truly something deep and evocative. It's not this like cheap ass like Valentine's Day scent. It's something more than that to me. What it's known by on the internet and stuff is not representative of what it actually is. So for that, I give this category a 0.9. I took away 1 just for that. The brand being based on commodities, obviously, like milk, paper, juice, what's another one, moss, book, all that stuff, makes me feel like I have to pick one, like makes me feel like I'm going shopping. And this is the one I would pick. This is Velvet. This is what I'm buying with my video game money. So when you add up all the Realgar star points, you get a 4.9 out of 5, which is damn near perfect. This is my highest rated perfume in all my charts. Well, I think this is really unique. When you go on fragrance and go, hold on. What people compare it to is, I just disagree with it a lot. Like they compare it to, is this By the Fire? Yeah, they compare it to By the Fireplace, which it's nothing like that to me. It doesn't smell like that at all. By the Fireplace is more vanilla and it has no cloves or spiciness. There's like sweet rosy aspect to it. It's just, this is so unique. The only fragrances that smell anything close to it are obviously Velvet Plus and Velvet Minus. If you like how I described it in this video, definitely give it a try, but keep in mind that it is my signature scent. You can't claim it. It's mine, bitch. I'm just kidding. I hate Velvet Plus. There's something that just gives me the association with diapers. I know that's weird. I have a little like sample of it. It smells like changing diapers. I have no idea why. Something in combo with sort of the chemicaliness of like the leather, like I think it has leather in there. Something like really masculine in the base just smells like chemicals in the Velvet Plus. It reminds me of like the spray I use to like sanitize surfaces because I work in a daycare and I change kids' diapers, and diapers are kind of fragrance and it just smells like goddamn diapers. That's just me though, but this one's nice. I love it. It doesn't ruin this for me, but if I were to smell the Velvet Plus, I would hate it a lot. And Velvet Minus is the same thing, but less rosy and less sweet, and it sort of lasts longer because there's less of a sillage. But anyways, that's it. Go away. Wait, I forgot to say, keep being you. Stay proud of yourself. Bye.